Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to Vinyl Talk with Tavis. And I'm Tavis. I hope all of you are having a wonderful day whenever you're watching this. And I'm glad to be back with you to share some vinyl records that I have acquired over the past few weeks. First of all, let me say that today has been a marvelous day. I don't know where you live, but it was just and continues to be a glorious day. And as I'm recording this, it's going on 8 o'clock p.m. And the weather is marvelous. So I hope you all are having a great day, just like I am. So let's get right into the records that I have gotten so far for the past few weeks. I'm going to start with the group that I was not familiar with. One thing about this vinyl collecting thing is that I'll find out about artists that I would think I would already know about, but you learn something every single day. Every day. I have this wonderful Instagram account, and I am friends with loads of vinyl collectors. And this one Instagrammer, he posted a record by the Dynamic Superiors. And I don't know if you've heard of this group, but I was so interested in the group that I had to buy it. The album, that is. And this is their first release from 1975. Now, look very close at this album cover. First of all, it's very beautiful. I love the artwork. Now, this group, this is their first album with Motown. This album and the cover made Motown history because Tony Washington, the leader of this group, he was the first openly gay man in the Motown company. He was the front man. And y'all, this record is phenomenal. The Dynamic Superiors. Now, this album is produced by Ashford and Simpson. That is Nick Ashford and Valerie Simpson, who recorded or who wrote lots of music for Motown artists like Diana Ross, Marvin Gaye, and Tammy Terrell. So when I got this record and began to listen to it, I was just enthralled with the sound. Now, Mr. Tony Washington, y'all, okay, he was not going to act straight. If you search on YouTube and search the song Shoe Shoe Shine and watch them perform on Soul Train, first of all, the choreography is phenomenal. These guys are stepping better than any Temptations, better than any Four Tops. It's just, y'all, this is great music. And Tony Washington, again, openly gay. You see his fingernails? Do you see the cover art, how it's pink? He has makeup on. That made Motown history. And he uses his voice, he uses his chest voice, but he also a lot uses his falsetto voice. And it's just great music. And Nick Ashford and Valerie Simpson wrote most of the songs on this album. The album came out in 1975. Today, this is all I've been listening to. They sound, I would say, almost better than the Stylistics. Great album, great music, awesome vocals. Sadly enough, Mr. Tony Washington passed away. I believe it was in sometime in the 80s. But hey, great album, The Dynamic Superiors. Now, I must say that he's been quoted as saying that because he was openly gay, a lot of venues did not want to accept them to perform. But it didn't stop them from having hits. Shoe Shoe Shine, Leave It Alone, Don't Send Nobody Else. Y'all, please, if y'all are not familiar with the Dynamic Superiors, on Motown Records, I might add, a great album. I'm so glad to have this, and it made Motown history. I wish they could get the accolades that they deserve, but, you know, even now in 2021, you don't see too many openly gay singers as we should, because if people are going to be out and proud about who they are, their music should not really affect that, but it does. But this group, 1975? Come on. That was really a hard time for gays. Really a hard time. So I'm glad to own this record. I love it. I think it's fantastic. And it just goes to show that your talent supersedes everything about you. If you are talented and you can sing or whatever you can do, that is the most important part about yourself if that's what you're promoting. What more can you say? And I have little Richard here, who was very flamboyant. He wore his makeup in the 60s and 50s. But Motown? Come on, y'all. A great, great album. I'm trying to see if I can sing the song. Let me get something straight. I can't sing the song. I can't sing the song. I forgot the song. My God. But when he hits those high notes, he uses his falsetto. It was almost as if, you know, Sylvester, the great singer from the 70s and the 80s, it's almost as if Sylvester took notes and sounded a lot like Tony Washington from the Dynamic Superiors. And I love Sylvester too. So, great album. I love that record. Now, the past week, I believe, I ordered this. This is Chaka Khan, The Woman I Am. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Y'all. Okay, I got this record from Germany on Discogs, and it took a good 3 weeks, which is normal, you know. Great seller on Instagram. A great seller on Discogs. I was so happy to get this because I've been wanting this for the longest time. 1996. Am I right? Oh, 1992. Tavis. I did a video of me unboxing this on my Instagram page. I did it live. And I just had to show my excitement. And I reposted that Instagram video on my YouTube channel because I just felt like I just had to let people know that this record, to me, could have been much more promoted. But, you know, this was the last album that Chaka Khan did with, is it Warner Brothers? Yeah, Warner Records. It was the last album she did with them because of some creative differences. But to me, this is one of her, if not one of her best projects ever. I had an Instagram follower and friend who said that she was in the prime of her voice recording this record. Now, I love Chaka Khan regardless of what year it is, but she really is singing her ass off on this album. Y'all, love you all my lifetime, lost to you eternally. And when she goes, when she sings, my God, that woman can sing. I mean, Chaka Khan, The Woman I Am, is only released in record form from Germany. And I'm so glad to have it. Chaka Khan, if you're watching, I love you so much. Woo! Now, do you all know CeCe Peniston? I had to order this album from the Netherlands. Again, I went on Discogs. Finally, it is happening to me right in front of my face, and I just cannot hide it. Finally. Never knew this was on vinyl. Never knew it. This is from the Netherlands. Now, this came out, I think this was the 1992. Yes, this is 1992. CeCe Peniston, such great house music. I mean, just top notch. I was so in love. I'm still in love with this album. Probably one of my top 20 R&B albums. But it's during that time when music was shifting, we were getting into the New Jack Swing. A lot of house music was happening. But I'm a little upset with this because the title track, Finally, is not the same as the American version. So I like the American version better than the version that's on here. But I'm still very happy to have this. One of my favorite songs on here is her slow jam ballad called Crazy Love. Crazy Love. Da-da-da. Wait. The way we're making love, I can't get enough of your crazy love. Da-da-da. Gotta have that sexy stuff. One sweet love, two mixed up. I'm your crazy love. Man, CeCe. Man, do y'all have this? Finally, that's the jam. Again, this pressing does not have the American version of Finally. So I'm not too happy about it, but I'll go ahead and deal with it. But I love that record. Did I show you the record? Yeah, here we go. Beautiful out. I love Discogs so much. You know, you have to trust the sellers, and these people, they have it going on. Finally, from CeCe Peniston. Okay, now let me move on. One of my favorite R&B groups of all time, the big band, trumpets, trombones, percussion. We have Earth, Wind, and Fire, Illumination. I never knew this was on vinyl. It's a 2-record set. This record, it features Will I Am. It features the fantastic Kenny G on I Love the Way You Move. Dun, dun, dun. I love the way you move. Dun, dun, dun. I mean, this record, and let's look at the inside. It comes with 2 records. It has pictures of the members. You see Maurice White here. You see the fantastic Philip Bailey. A beautiful album. I received this sealed. Never knew that it was released on vinyl. People are loving vinyl more so than ever these days. Kids, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, now, I'm really into these reissues, and I love Target. Now, tell me about it. Have you went to Target and seen their record section? They have all of these albums, and, you know, I was looking for this particular album for a long time, and it is a double set, and it is a limited edition Target exclusive of the Bee Gees. Timeless, the all-time greatest hits. I have not unboxed this. I'm going to do it right now for you. If you all have not seen the documentary of the Bee Gees, I think it's on HBO. I had a chance to watch it. So wonderful. I must be honest with you. I was not too familiar with the early works of the Bee Gees, like in the 60s and the very, very early 70s. However, I became familiar with the Bee Gees when they were in the disco era. So to be acquainted with their earlier music, such as the songs Spicks and Specks, New York Mining Disaster, To Love Somebody, Massachusetts, I've Got to Get a Message to You, I Started a Joke. It just goes through all of their hits, and then it finally takes you to the disco era. And then the last song on here is called You Win Again, which I love too. But let's take a look at this. Oh, let's look on the inside. Look at this. Look at this, kids. And you know that Barry Gibb is the only living member of the Bee Gees, Mr. Barry Gibb. Both of his brothers have gone on. And so it's wonderful how music can just keep a group alive. And let me read what Barry wrote right here on the bottom for you. It reads, "There's a spirituality about this album, and these songs always meant the most to us. So it is extraordinary that it came together in such a natural way. I chose these songs with the intention of having a chronological order to the whole album. And although there are many other songs, these songs, I feel, are the songs that Maurice, Robin, and I would be most proud of. These songs represent the path of our lives, moments in time, moments that will never be forgotten." Barry Gibb. And Barry, we can never forget the Bee Gees. The music that you all created, the soundtrack not only of Saturday Night Fever, but the soundtrack of our lives. And let's see how this colored vinyl, oh man, look at that! Wow! So, man, more than a woman, more than a woman to me. Nobody gets too much heaven no more. It's as high as a mountain and harder to climb. You and me, girl, got a lot of love in store. You're my love. I can see the end forever. If it's over, Lord, I don't know the lyrics. You know me and lyrics. If you follow me for a long time, I forget lyrics. But this, oh man, I'm so glad to have this. So glad. Okay, now we're going to take you to some gospel. I have 3 gospel records that I'm so proud of. You know I love my gospel music. All of you gospel lovers out there, or those of you who would want to learn about more gospel. This is the album Vision by the Richard Smallwood Singers. Now, this is Richard Smallwood. Mitchell. I said Mitchell. That's my dad's name. My God. I love you, Daddy. Richard Smallwood. And he came out with this group like in the late 70s, early 80s. And man, he just moved on with the times. And this is a very contemporary record. Very contemporary as it relates to gospel music. But this album came out in the year of, come on, Tavis, 1988. Wow. On Word Records. So if you're a gospel music lover, you should know about this. You know, Rejoice Records, that was one of the famous gospel labels at the time. So Richard Smallwood and the Smallwood Singers, I mean, they are just very, very well known in the Black gospel world. So I highly recommend this. Great songs on here. They're very well known for the song Jesus, you're the center of my joy. All that's good and perfect comes from you. Do y'all know that? Y'all, okay. I'm hoping somebody out there watching me knows that song. That song is not on here. This album came after that album that had that song on it. Okay? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So this, Richard Smallwood and the Smallwood Singers, Vision. I love my gospel music. Now, the next two records feature one artist. He is considered in the Black gospel community the king of gospel. Do you know who I'm talking about? Mr. James Cleveland. And I had to get this. This is James Cleveland sings with the world's greatest choirs. Now, the span of time in this two-record set is phenomenal. I mean, every song takes you to church. Every song. Jesus is the best thing that ever happened to me. He took the song from Gladys Knight and the Pips, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. But he changed it to Jesus, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. It is a gospel gem. A song that I sung a lot in church and played a lot in church back in the day. God has smiled on me. What'd he do? He has set me free. I got to take it up. God has smiled on me. He's been good to me. Oh, yes, he has. Got to have a little strawberry lemonade drink on that. Woo! I don't feel no ways tired. Lord, help me to hold out. Of course, it's on Savoy Records, one of the top Black gospel labels at the time. I think they also dabbled with blues albums as well. But mostly, I know Savoy Records as a gospel music label. But James Cleveland, he is definitely one of my favorite gospel music singers. Andre Crouch being number one, and then James Cleveland being half of number one and number two. Okay. And then the last album I have, of course, is James Cleveland live at Carnegie Hall. Man, I had been seeing this album so many times at Mills Records, but I just kept passing over it. I don't know why, but then I saw multiple versions of this record and then just decided, no, I think I need to get this. And I'm so glad that I did. This album is just nothing but church. If you want to have some church, you take these albums, put them on your turntable, man, you're going to have some church in your house. You're going to be dancing. You're going to be feeling the spirit. You see that Savoy label? Yep. James Cleveland was with Savoy a long time. May he rest in peace as well. Well, everyone, that's all the records I have to show for you today. I hope that you enjoyed this episode of Vinyl Talk with Tavis. I hope that your day has been spectacular, just as mine has. I've been listening to music all day, enjoying the beautiful weather. And I want to leave you with this, as always, with music. And with records from discogs that come from other countries, like Chaka Khan. Be inspired and stay inspired.